Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt. On the radio, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. Now it's time to discover your legal issue blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio. And today we're going to be talking to Tony Tileman about reverse mortgages and other types of ways to access your home's equity. Tony Tileman is a loan officer, business owner, real estate investor, and consultant. But first, we're going to talk about the financial focus for the day with Joseph Warren, financial planner with Financial Planning HQ. He's been sponsoring the show for the last month and a half with his father and brother. They're a team that does financial planning. And you're going to talk to us about some ways to access home equity. What are some of the reasons someone might want to or need to unlock their home equity?
Yeah, great question. I'm really excited to be back. And I know a lot of your audience is, older adults, retirees is what I've seen. And for our clients who are retired, there's something that I like to call the kind of like the silent thief of their wealth. Other people have called it a hidden tax. You may know what I'm referring to, but it's a big threat. I think it's sometimes the biggest threat to a lot of people's financial strategy or their financial plan. Inflation. Yep, that's it. So, the government prints money at about a rate of 7% per year on average. And 2 to 3% of that goes towards things getting more expensive. So I know we've all had the situation where you go to the grocery store and you're like, I can't believe the eggs are this expensive. The steak, it costs so much money. All the food is getting more expensive, but the quality of food hasn't really gone up. Right? It's the dollars that are weaker. Or I remember like when I was a young kid, I remember like $100 would get you a lot of groceries, but now it's like, 2 days worth of groceries real quick. A lot of that is just, your buying power is going down over time. And then we also have asset inflation as well. So to protect against the dollar losing value, people put their money in stocks, investments, bonds, real estate. They put their money into all these different things. And the idea is to beat inflation. But that leads to asset inflation as well. That's where the other 4% goes of money that's printed. And, a good example of that, not a good example, but something that kind of shows the point is that in 2019, the median home buyer, the average age of median age of a home buyer was 33 years old. This year, it's 40 years old. So people are getting priced out of buying their first home. So assets are getting inflated as well. So it's a real thing, right? Since COVID too, we had a 9.1% inflation rate, which means that, in 2022, if you had 100,000, it would spend like 91,000 at the end of that year. And by this year, it'd be about 83,000 in spending power. So one reason you might want to unlock the equity in your home is because you have a lot of equity in your home. It inflated over time, and maybe you've paid it off over your lifetime. And at the same time, you don't have a lot of cash flow. So it might help you with either an emergency expense, home improvement, and reverse mortgage is more for lifestyle. Like if you can't meet your cost of living or you need some help, wealthier clients also use them as well. And I'll go into that quickly. And I know you have in-depth knowledge because you do this all the time.
Yeah, we'll talk to Tony about that.
Yeah.
And I also want to talk about the 50-year mortgage because the politicians have been bringing that up, but we'll save that for the next segment.
That's a hot topic. And the 15-year car loan, which just sounds silly. I don't know what a car is going to be good for 15 years, but.
So I like the metaphor of the silent thief of inflation. And I know that seniors are always talking about their fixed income. And so I'm glad that you brought those things up. So building on that, what are some ways that people can unlock the equity in their real estate investment properties or their home?
Yeah, just from a planning perspective, because I know Tony's going to go into it more in depth, but some things that I've seen, a simple way that people can do that is just by downsizing. I've recommended to clients before that they downsize their house. So sometimes you're an empty nester, you had a big, large home, maybe it's 2 stories and you don't really go upstairs much, or you have mobility issues.
Well, I know that's the case for me.
Yeah.
I mean, literally don't go upstairs.
Yeah, or there's a room that's just storage,
Right.
right? Or there's a bunch of empty bedrooms. So you have this house, but you're not really using it.
Hmm.
So sometimes it makes sense to downsize your home, and then the profits of that capital gains actually gets sheltered from taxes up to 250,000 if you're single, 500,000 if you're married, and you buy a house that costs less money, maybe is a little bit smaller, fits your needs, and that money can help supplement your income in retirement.
Yeah, the only difference with me is that I want to buy a more expensive home in a
That's-
nicer neighborhood.
That's well, you're in the accumulation phase.
That's
That's
right.
what we call it in financial planning. So me too.
Yeah, so thank you for some of those real world examples. Uh, are there any other takeaways that you want to mention?
Yeah. Wanted to go through, if I could, real quick, a few of the other ways, if that's okay, just real briefly,
Yes.
that people can do that. Because another way is owner financing to family. That's some things that I've seen where you can unlock the equity of your house. And that's kind of like an interfamily loan where you stay in the house, you get to live in it, and your family pays you that monthly income each month to help supplement what you need, and they're buying the house from you. And the upside to that is you get to stay in the house, and then it goes to family. But you have to have family members who are willing to and financially able to do that. So that's something that's limiting.
I've had clients that did that with their business.
Yeah.
They sell the business to a child or their children. Children pay them an installment.
Yeah.
So it's like an income that they get to receive. And the kids can afford it because it's just all cash flow through the business.
Yep. And then, of course, I know HELOCs, we have a, master real estate investor here, but HELOCs is pretty simple. It's just, it's kind of like turning your house into a credit card.
We'll say what it is.
It's basically using your house as collateral to get a line of credit.
Home equity line of credit.
On the equity in your house. And just some things to look out for there that I've seen with financial planning is you don't want to max out your credit cards. You don't want to max out your HELOC either, because home prices tend to go up. We're talking about asset inflation, but you never say never. Nothing's a straight line up. So if you could become underwater on your home where it's worth less than it was before, you could get stuck in the house, or you lose some options. Like sometimes I remember in 2020, I was telling people to refinance 2021, refinance their mortgages because the rates were like 2%. Even I saw one in the 1% at that point in time. And it was a great financial move to do.
Right.
But if you maxed it out, you wouldn't be able to do that. You need to make sure you have some equity there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Those are some good real life scenarios. But
let me ask from a planning standpoint.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, you're talking about the elderly, older adults, and I'm curious from a needs standpoint. 80% of older adults are living paycheck to paycheck.
Wow.
Right? Barely
Yeah.
making ends meet. And they're on that fixed income, and they're fighting inflation. And at that point, the other side is that 80% of older adults own their home.
Yeah.
60% own it free and clear. And so that's where, there's a big debate, a discussion of whether it makes sense or not. And to do, like you mentioned, the reverse mortgage, and a couple of the financial professionals out there, Dave Ramsey, big name in radio, big name on, podcasts and stuff. Susie Orman.
Oh yeah. She hates
They
it.
say run from this product.
Well, let's save this for the next segment, Tony, because I want you to go into specifics there.
Yeah.
But Joseph, I wanted to know if you have a resource this week.
I do. And I can speak on that real quick because my philosophy, as a financial planner is some things have stigmas to them. I think reverse mortgages have a stigma to it.
Yeah.
And, you kind of think of like, you could lose your home, things like that. If you don't pay your property taxes, you don't maintain the house, you could lose it. Sometimes people who do it don't have as much money, even though there's wealthy reasons to do it as well. There's planning mistakes, but even sometimes wealthy people don't do it if it makes sense because of the stigma. But with that being said, it's just a tactic, and it can really improve people's quality of life if they fit certain criteria, which I would, we can go over later. We can talk about that. But, if don't have heirs to pass it to, why do you need to have this house? And if you don't have any money, right? That's a great reason. They would be like, just use the house because you don't have any cash flow.
Or again, and I'm curious from a planning standpoint, because this is what you do, is why are people more concerned about giving their money to their heirs than taking care of their quality of life, making sure their health care is tip top, making sure their fitness is tip top, their food is tip top, and they sacrifice and they make.
You got too many estate planning attorneys out there saying that you should leave an inheritance to your children's
legacy.
children.
I think
That's what it is.
So my philosophy of that is that everybody's different. I've had clients say, I don't want to leave any money to my kids. And maybe it's for good reason, because their kids would just destroy it. Right. And I've had, my kids are everything. They'll say, I want to make sure they had a better life than I do. And we kind of personalize the strategy to that. But
so everybody's different. Everybody
has a unique set of values that's important to them. And whether or not a reverse mortgage is right would have to do with that. Because you may have heirs and, they hate you. I've seen where they don't even like their parents, and their parents haven't even really done anything wrong, it doesn't seem like.
Right.
So
it's time for you to talk about the resource.
Okay. So the takeaway is that we create strategies for our clients using math and science, running actual simulations of things like a reverse mortgage, knowing what's important to them as well, to show them this is the absolute best course of action to take. And we can substantiate it with showing this increases your chances of success. It has all these pros. These are some of the cons and the costs of it. And everything has that in finance.
Right.
And I want to offer to your audience, and I've done this every week, but a guide of different ways to unlock equity in your house and different ways to do that in retirement. And I'll send that to anyone who just gives me a call at 210-444-2128. That's 210-444-2128. And for the first 3 people who call, same thing as last time, I'll send you a free copy of this book that'll massively increase your chances of achieving your financial goals.
Awesome, Joseph. Thank you for giving us the financial focus this week.
My pleasure.
The silent killer, what did you call it?
The silent thief stealing your
silent
wealth.
Thief,
inflation or currency devaluation. Yep.
Next segment, we're going to be talking with Tony Tileman about mortgages and investing and all kinds of other things. But remember to subscribe to YouTube. Go to YouTube, search for Talk Law Radio, look for the Lady Justice and the red, white, and blue logo, and join the fun. Comment on the videos. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.